Hey guys, this is Eliza and welcome back to a new video. So today is a bit of a book haul. This one is from a larger period of time. It's been a while since I did a book haul, so I kind of just like threw together all the books that I've got like relatively recently, and I'm just gonna talk about them. Actually, I'm pretty sure most of these were like April and the start of May. Might be one from March, because I don't think I really purchased anything in March, book-wise. My cat's rubbing up against the tripod, so if it starts moving, you know why. Let's just jump straight in. Some of these I've read, some of them I haven't. So, first off the pile, we have The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner. This one I actually read prior to picking it up. I listened to it on audiobook, and then when I saw that Big W had the paperback, I decided to pick it up because it was cheap, because all Big W books are cheap. Spoiler alert, I rated this one 5 stars. I absolutely loved this book, but this one follows dual timelines, and we're following a girl who works as a servant in this household, and the husband does not treat her, like not her husband, the husband of the family does not treat her very well. Then we follow Caroline, who is present day, and she is on her way to London for her 10-year wedding anniversary with her husband, but she's going alone, and it's her navigating London. And then somehow those two stories collide. One is set like way in the past. I don't know if it says a year specifically. 18th century London, so ages ago. And then one is current day. So yeah, really, really enjoyed this one. That's like one of my favorite tropes, is there is like a mystery with two timelines and they somehow interwoven. Love that. Definitely recommend checking this one out. It is really good, and the audiobook is also a really good narration as well. Next we have Bloom by Kevin Panetta and Savannah Ganuccia. This one is a graphic novel, and I've recently purchased, I think it was 6 I ordered, LGBT, or actually one of them wasn't, but 5 of them were LGBT graphic novels. So this one is about these 2 characters. This one works for his family bakery, and he kind of wants to escape because bakerying is not what he wants to do, and he wants to be in a band. And then this bloke is in town cleaning up his grandmother's estate after she passed, and decides to get a job at his family's bakery. Really cute, LGBT, and I also love that in the back of these ones, there's a recommendation for like similar graphic novels. Like for example, they've got a prompt like books that belong in kitchens, magical stories for the win, and like graphic novels that are kind of like honest in love realm, all from like the same publisher. I like that. 2 of them actually have that in there. There's another one that does too well. Then we have one that wasn't part of that 5, but I have Check Please Volume 2. I have ordered Check Please Volume 1, but it's not currently here. So I'm showing you volume 2 at the moment, but I have already read this one. I read this one ages ago as like ebooks, and I decided to pick up a copy for myself. It's been a while since I read this, but this is basically about a bloke who really likes baking, which same as Bloom, who joins a hockey team, and it's LGBT, so love that. Then we have another graphic novel, and that is Genderqueer. Genderqueer. So this one is a memoir by Maya Kababe. I have not read anything about this. I know it's a memoir and someone is genderqueer, I'm guessing. So that's all I know. Now onto the non-graphic novels. I recently picked this one up on Facebook Marketplace, and that is Crimson Rain by Amelia Wenzero. This is the 3rd book in the Blood Air trilogy. Blood Air? Yeah, the Blood Air trilogy, and it is the Illumicrate edition. So I have the Illumicrate edition, actually they're right there. I have the Illumicrate edition of the 1st book. I'm yet to get the 2nd, but now I have the 3rd. So now all I need is Red Tigress, and I'll be able to complete the set. But yeah, I picked this one up. I paid a little bit of a pretty penny for it, but it is what it is. It's a special edition, so you know, that is the money you pay. Then we have this one we actually don't know anything about, and this is On a Sunbeam by Tilly Walden. This was recommended a couple times on TikTok. I've seen it. It's LGBT as well, but it's LGBT sci-fi, and it is a graphic novel, which thank God, because if this was a novel, I would never get to it. Like, this is so big, and it's also really heavy, like physically heavy. Like it's twice as heavy as this, which is a hardcover and the same size. Like, it's a hefty book. It's dense. It's a dense, but yeah, I have no idea what this is about. So I can't tell you because honestly, I don't want to know what it's about. So I'm not going to read a synopsis, just to tell you guys about it. Next we have Nocturne, and this is the Illumicrate. What edition is this? Honestly can't remember. It doesn't say, it just says an exclusive edition. Anyway, this is an exclusive edition of Nocturne. It has got blue sprayed edges, it's got blue cover because the original is there. It's orange. And I read Nocturne a little while ago now. I still haven't read Occulta. It's literally right here on my TBR cart. But I really, really love Nocturne, so I decided to grab this when I saw it on Facebook Marketplace. And it's got blue sprayed edges, so, you know, that's the only thing it's got. Oh, it is signed, but besides that, like, it doesn't have anything fancy under the dust jacket or anything like that. It's just sprayed, but it's fine. This one is about Finn. Yes, Finn, who is a little bit of a cutthroat, wears a disguise, magical disguise, and she kind of gets caught up in the wrong side of things with a mobster, and he is making her break into the royal palace to steal something that is very high value. And then we also follow the prince. You know where this goes. I don't think I really needed to explain that. So yeah, I loved this book. I said I still haven't got to Occulta. I don't know why. I think I'm honestly just nervous because I loved Nocturne so much that I'm scared that I'm not going to love Occulta as much. But really, really enjoyed this one, so definitely recommend picking it up. Then we have The End of Everything by the author whose name I will probably never remember to look up before posting a video. Filming a video. But I read This Is Where It Ends by this author and absolutely loved it. It was a LGBT thriller. Incredible. This one is like more dystopian thriller type vibes, but it sounds really, really interesting. This is what a plague looks like. It's not illness at first, it's fear. The type of fear that nags at the back of your thoughts, that crawls like a parasite under your skin. Can we get sick from touching other people's clothes? Can we get sick from running our hands over the same door handles? Are we doomed for breathing in the same air? No one can promise us we'll survive. The best we can hope for is that we go out fighting. Also sounds relatively familiar to our current situation, but anyways, I absolutely love this author. I really didn't even need to know what it was about. I was going to pick it up anyway. Then we have Only Monster by Vanessa Len, and honestly I have no idea what this is about. I did read out the synopsis when I unboxed this because this is a Fairy Loot edition. Look at those spray judges. But I honestly have no recollection whatsoever. And also I don't really like this cover. I like this cover. This one, not so much. But yeah, honestly, I don't know anything about it. Don't forget the rule. No one can know what we are, what you are. You must never tell anyone about monsters. Intriguing. I didn't get rid of it, so obviously I was like relatively interested. I just realized it's got a pattern at the back. It's just got photos in it. Wait, what was that? What did I see? What did I see? What did I see? What did I see? There is photos in the back. Oh my god, there is photos. Anyways, this is I Must Betray You by Rudis of Hades. This is the same author as Salt to the Sea, which is hands down my favourite historical fiction. Are you coming to me because you're barking because you weren't meant to be? Or because I need to go and check it out? I'm not hearing anything, so I'm hoping it's the latter. No, the former. Other way. Salt to the Sea was absolutely incredible, so I decided to pick this one up when I saw it for cheap in Big W. Christina has lived his entire life in a country governed by fear. At 17, he dreams of being free, of studying philosophy and poetry, but everything he does, says, or even thinks is controlled by the state. It is a climate of constant suspicion. Can he trust his best friend, his girlfriend, or even his family? Blackmail. When is this set? It doesn't have a time frame. I'm guessing 1989. Anyways, I'm not going to look into it too far because otherwise I'm going to end up spoiling myself for something, and I just want to go into this and read this because like I said, loved Salt to the Sea. I will read anything this author has put out. Then I picked up The Book of Stolen Dreams by David Farr. This is a middle grade fantasy. That's what I was looking for. Besides that, I don't really know much about it. I read this while I was studying Big W, and that's all I know. I have always taught you to have a strong moral compass. You must use it now to save your father. There is a reason he wanted to steal the book. Find out why. Do whatever you can to help him. I know you more than anyone can do it. And also, this was like 12 bucks, and it's a hardcover with foiling, artwork inside the dust jacket, and foiling on the naked hardcover. And it looks like something right up my alley. I love middle grades. Then I picked up 2 Junji Ito books. So I picked up Shiver and Smash. I read Shiver in April for Magical Readathon. But yeah, these are just 2 short story collections from Junji Ito, who is a Japanese graphic novel writer. Horror writer, I should mention. 13 Chilling Nightmares. 9 of his best short stories. I've read this one, haven't got to Smashed yet, but we will get there. Then I have The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axie O, which is another Fairy Loot book, and this thing is stunning. And also, incredible book. I read this one in April. This was the first book I read, no, second book. I rated 5 stars for the entire year. First one was The Lost Apothecary, which I talked about at the start. So basically in this world, each year, a girl is, the most attractive girl, is thrown into the sea to hopefully appease the sea god. This year, our main character, her brother's girlfriend is the one who is going to be sacrificed, and she's like, you know, going out on a boat to be sacrificed, and the brother decides to follow her because, you know, he's in love with her and he doesn't want her to get hurt. And then the sister ends up, like our main character ends up sacrificing herself instead of her, so that way her brother doesn't have to live without his girlfriend, which is kind of cute to begin with. Like, love that family dynamic. And it's her experience beneath the sea. And I absolutely loved this. It is so freaking good. The romance, I will say, is a little bit predictable. And it also happens in literally a month. But also, she's also unconscious for a couple of those days, so less than a month. So the romance is a little bit predictable, but everything else, absolutely loved it. Now, the rest of them are all graphic novels. So firstly, we have Anne of West Philly by Noelle Weir, illustrated by Maisha Haynes. And this one is about a girl. She is in the foster care system and she gets placed with this couple in West Philly. And it is her experience. And this is really, really wholesome. And I highly recommend picking it up if you need something to read and cry over. Like, good cry over. Then we have The Girl on Fire, Girl on Fire by Alicia Keys. And yes, Alicia Keys, the artist. Did I know this was in existence until like a week before it released? No, I did not. But this is another graphic novel, and this one, I kind of went into a blind because I was just like, Alicia Keys wrote a graphic novel, I'm gonna read that. But this one is like a Black Lives Matter type situation. We have our main character and her brother is wrongfully being committed by white policemen, and she saves him with magical abilities that she didn't know she had. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that. Honestly, I didn't even know there was magical abilities when I read this. I said, went into it completely blind, besides the fact that I assumed it was like a Black Lives Matter type situation. Like something to do with like police brutality or, you know, one of those topics. Besides that, I didn't know anything. But yes, it is magical realism fantasy-ish, whatever you want to call it. Then lastly, we have 2 in the same series, and that is Wires and Nerves Volume 1 and 2. This is set in the same world as the Lunar Chronicles, and I won't go into any detail about this one because it is set after the fact of the Lunar Chronicles, and do not read this if you hadn't read the Lunar Chronicles and you plan to, because there will be major spoilers. Like, I mean, it reveals the entire plot. So don't do that. But if you've read the Lunar Chronicles, this follows Aiko. That's all I can say. But yeah, really loved it. If you've read the Lunar Chronicles. If you haven't read the Lunar Chronicles and you don't plan to read the Lunar Chronicles, you can probably get away with reading this. But if you plan to read the Lunar Chronicles, don't read this first. Read these after. But that's the last thing I hauled. So that is all the books that I've like recently picked up. I have a fair few coming in the mail because I pre-ordered some books. I also ordered basically all the books that I don't currently own by Alice Oseman, because I've been in a kick. Oh, did I show you guys? What the fuck did I do with that? I am blind. I mean, partially and literally. I also got the Heartstopper hardcover as well. I have the paperbacks, but I decided to get the hardcover, which has the same artwork underneath as the dust jacket, which I don't understand, because like Alice Oseman is an artist. Like, you could have put something really cool inside of it, and you didn't. You know? Yeah, I also picked up that one. But yeah, I've been in a huge Alice Oseman kick, so I ended up purchasing all the books I don't own. And also I got a second copy of Radio Silence because I wanted to match the other. Anyways, that is it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what book that you've picked up recently that you're really keen to read. Out of these, I'm probably most keen to read, I don't know, because I have read most of these. Probably On a Sunbeam, the graphic novel. I'm really keen for it. But yeah, anyways, let me know in the comments and I'll see you in my next video.